Welcome back to the journey. In our last dev diary, we mapped out the brain of our games. The logic, the flowcharts, and the systems that make a project work on paper. But a brain needs a body to inhabit. Today, we're moving from the abstract design to the heart of the project, the game source folder, and our Unity environment. If you don't start with a base logic and a solid folder structure inside your engine, your creative spark will eventually be extinguished by a mountain of digital chaos. Let's make sure that doesn't happen. Before we open the hood of the engine, I have an exciting update on homeostasis. I've reached a first basic playable state for one organ, the brain. Having this vertical slice is a game changer. It allows me to make the first real balancing decisions and define the overall pacing of the game. It's one thing to see logic on a flowchart, but it's another to feel the stats changing and to interact with the UI in real time. But now let's get started with today's topic. There are plenty of incredible engines out there, but for pixel monster games, I've chosen Unity. There are two big reasons why. Adventure Creator. This is a powerhouse tool specifically for point-and-click games. Since that's my main genre and Adventure Creator sits on Unity, the engine derives from AC. The language. Even though I worked as a C++ developer for several years, I find C# to be a more robust and accessible language for indie development compared to the C++ requirements of Unreal. Unity provides an initial folder setup the moment you start a new project. My advice? Remove the default scenes folder. Keep the rest. Before we import a single sprite, we need to establish some rules. No spaces. Some tools can be finicky with spaces and file paths. Use camel case as your alternative. The root level is sacred. Avoid adding extra folders at the root level. Keep everything strictly inside the assets folder. Internal versus external. Keep your internal assets separated from third-party plugins or store assets. You don't want your player scripts mixed in with a page shader or asset pack. The meta file. You'll see these files everywhere. They are Unity's way of tracking your assets. Never delete them or you'll break your project's references. Make sure you add them to your version control as well. The keep trick. Git doesn't like empty folders. If you want to keep a folder structure in your repository before you have files for it, drop a small empty .keep file inside. There is no one-size-fits-all structure. It evolves based on your taste, experience, and the game you're making. I always start with the _ project folder. That underscore ensures my actual work stays at the top of the list, separated from Unity's default folders. For a scene-heavy game like Boon the Caveman, I organize by scenes. Each scene folder contains everything specific to that location, while game-wide logic resides in a general game folder. If the scenes are large, you can further group by asset type, scripts, audio, etc. inside those folders. For a system-heavy game like Homeostasis, I prefer organizing by feature. Create a folder for your player, for enemies, or for action buttons. Alternatively, you can group generally by asset type. All scripts in one place, all audio in another. Once your project grows, it can make sense to rebuild the folder structure, since your initial asset grouping can only go so far. When the asset folders start getting too crowded, that's usually the right time to move to a feature-based setup. This is just my personal preference, not a universal truth. Experiment and adapt whatever works best for you. And honestly, the icing on the cake would be seeing how you handle it. So feel free to share with us in the comments. Pro tip. You can use prefixes to keep things searchable, like M_ for materials, or AC_ for animation controller assets. That said, Unity also lets you use labels, which can be even more flexible. You could label assets by type, system, or even scene, and then filter them easily in the project window. Prefixes are super simple and always visible, but labels let you categorize assets in multiple ways without cluttering the names. So think of it like this. For small projects, prefixes are great, but for bigger projects, combining prefixes with labels can give you the best of both worlds. Finally, let's talk about source files. I keep my original work, like .asprite files, in a dedicated artwork folder as mentioned in Dev Diary number 1. I then export the final assets directly into the Unity project. You can also store your outputs in the source folder first. This allows for a check or review step. My raw work stays in the source folder, while the clean, game-ready approved assets are deployed manually to the game source. We've got the brain and the heart ready. In the next episode, we're going to take a look at my workflow and structure in Asprite and see how it helps bring Boon to life. If you want to follow the journey from an empty folder to a finished game, hit that subscribe button. I'm curious, any tips for organizing yourself in Unity that I missed? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you in the next log. Stay creative.